for the Grid is a great fighting game, but I think it's lacking in terms of being a great Power Rangers game, and at times a video game with how little content there is. So today, I'm going to pitch my 18 character roster for a Battle for the Grid sequel. Let me be clear, I'm focusing on the roster, not the content, though I will be dropping story ideas for this game throughout the episode. So let's talk about what characters I want for the Battle for the Grid sequel roster. The main character for the sequel will be the second Black Power Ranger, Adam. With Johnny Bosch, Adam's actor, being a popular guy outside of Power Rangers and a unique moveset the Power Axe can bring, I think it would be wise to put him for our only MMPR pick. That's right, the rest of the roster are going to be characters from other Power Ranger series, like Blaze from Beast Morphers. Since my idea for the Battle for the Grid sequel's story mode is a completely original story with no Draken involved, we're going to need a new big villain, so why not take one of the coolest villain suits from the most recent season and give him the starring role, which he so desperately needs with how Beast Morphers has been treating him. The story would have Blaze overthrow Evox and work with Scrozzle to build a Morphex-powered time machine to do villain things, forcing all these Rangers from different seasons to come together. He'll also be recruiting villains throughout time, but we'll get to those villains later. Since we're including Blaze, let's get another fan-favorite Beast Morphers villain, Roxy, in this roster as well. Her fight style of dual-wielding rifles could make for a very enjoyable and combo-crazy playstyle. Our first returning character from the first Battle for the Grid is Lauren Shiba, the true Red Samurai Ranger. She has a decently sized fan base, represents Samurai in the best way possible, and assuming they're using the same assets, won't be much of a hassle to bring to the new game since they already did the work on her in the first game. This next spot was originally going to be given to Koda, the Dino Charge Blue Ranger, but then I thought about another Dino Charge Ranger that could be fun to bring to this game, and that's Heckle, the Dino Charge Dark Ranger. For those confused, this is a thing that happened in the Boom Studios Power Rangers comics, which makes this character a double representative for the comics and Dino Charge. The Dark Ranger has a boomerang weapon and a gun, which can easily make him stand out from the other fighters in the game. Up next, we have one of my personal favorite Rangers, Ziggy, or Ranger Operator Series Green. Not only is he a beloved character from a beloved season, but Ziggy is kinda clumsy, so I can see his attacks being more goofy in nature with wobbling and tripping over himself, which is very different from all the other Battle for the Grid characters. Also, his axe is just the coolest weapon in the franchise, and I really want to use that in the game. Our next returning Ranger is Gia, the Super Mega Force Yellow Ranger. She has a fun playstyle, and she's considered one of the better part of her series despite never getting a focus episode, so I think she should stay. Going a bit old school with Lightspeed Rescue's Titanium Ranger, the first American-only Power Ranger, which makes sense to include in your American-developed Power Rangers game. I'll be honest, I don't got much ideas for his moveset since I need to watch more of his season, but I still think it would be cool to include him. These next two picks are returning characters from the first game that can help with the story we're making, and those are Jen, the Pink Time Force Ranger, and Daishi, the main villain of Power Rangers Jungle Fury. With all the time travel shenanigans Blaze is pulling, Time Force would naturally be involved, and Daishi could be recruited into Blaze's villain gang. Back to the newcomers, I'm including Tori, the Blue Ranger from Power Rangers Ninja Storm. Tori's not just a ninja, but a surfer, so why not include some surfing stuff in her moveset to make her stand out from a generic ninja character? Speaking of being a standout ninja, Levi, aka Ninja Steel Gold, will also be joining the roster. While I wasn't a fan of the Ninja Steel series, I could still see a lot of potential for its characters in outside material, and this is one of those cases. I mean, Ninja Steel Gold is a rockstar cowboy ninja. The moveset speaks for itself. Also, if Levi doesn't do the selfie during his finisher, then I'm gonna make one tweet about being disappointed about it and then move on with my life like a normal human being. Out of all the Dino Thunder Rangers, Kira has the most interesting moveset potential with her Sonic Scream, flight abilities, and daggers. And before people ask, none of Tommy's Ranger forms are on this list because I want to expose people to different and cooler Rangers. Anyway, Taizan, the Mercury Ranger from Power Rangers Operation Overdrive, gets here solely because I really like his suit. Shallow reason I know, but it's not the only reason since he has a metal detector that can be used as a weapon along with finding treasure throughout the stage to power him up. Though with the more treasure you find, the longer it will take to dig up the next treasure, so it's not encouraged to spam it. Another two characters coming back from the first game are Mystic Force's White Ranger Udana and Lost Galaxy's Magna Defender. Don't got much to say on them, they're coming back because they're cool and promote their other seasons decently. SPD has a lot of Rangers I could choose, but I'm not choosing any of them. Instead, I'm choosing their our villain, Emperor Grum, who will be recruited by Blaze. Grum will play similar to Lord Zed, but will have tweaks to make him special. Also, just look how creepy that design is and tell me that's not the perfect look for a villain. As for our final villain and our in-space representative, let's get the original evil Power Rangers, the Psycho Rangers, in this party. The only specific idea I have for their moveset at the moment is using lightning, but we still gotta include the original evil Power Rangers in here if we're gonna include all these villains. My final returning character from the first game is gonna be Jason Lee Scott in his Zeo Gold form. Don't got much to say other than it's not MMPR Red. Before I unveil my final pick for the roster, I have a cameo from a special somebody.
Alright, make this quick and easy. My name is Busta, here to tell you what characters I want to see in Battle for the Grid. Titanium Ranger from Lightspeed Rescue. I want a reunion between Ryan and Eric, hashtag Blast Boys for Life. Sentinel Knight for Operation Overdrive. He can turn himself to a sword and use JoJo references. Blaze from Beast Morphers. He has the skills, the attitude, and most importantly, the edgelordness. Thank you, Bluey, for making him have a crossover appearance on your video.
Our final newcomer and character overall will be from a Power Rangers spin-off called Hyperforce, and we're gonna choose Hyperforce's Pink Ranger, Chloe. She's not just a very popular character in her series, but she's one of the only Pink Rangers to have a Battleizer. Hell, throw her love for burritos into her moveset while you're at it. It would give the game more personality, cause Lord knows Battle for the Grid needs more personality and charm. And those are the 18 characters I would put in Battle for the Grid 2's base roster. I know I could have added more, but I feel like 18 is enough characters to start off with for a budget studio like Enway. Might do another episode on this theoretical game later on where I talk about story mode specifics and DLC picks I would include, but for now, I'm gonna try, keyword try, to make the next video not related to Power Rangers or Tokusatsu, because everyone is sick of hearing me talk about Power Rangers and Tokusatsu.